Hi-Fi, serving as a shelter in courtyard of the summer event in MoMA PS1, is Benjamin's prototype for architecture and the future. He believes that the 21st century is a century of biology, and he, together with his firm, The Living, are dedicated to explore the architectural application of the biotechnology. It builds all the bricks in about 5 days, using the waste chopped cornerstone with almost no energy required or carbon emission. After the summer event, the installation is compostable and will return to local gardens at the end of the lifespan of the temporary structure. The shape of the structure uses a cutting-edge computing and engineering technology with parametric modeling to create a new paradigm of design. Our argument is the utilization of the biology, the innovation of working flow system of Hi-Fi has a great potential value for future architecture industry in the way of material, working system, and practical issue solutions.
The organic building shape is a trend for future architecture in terms of the aesthetic. However, the perfect curve could not be laid out directly at once. The Hi-Fi is a small-scale installation, which means that during the constructing process, that architects could test with real material to build up the result shape. Even there is a waste of material. Comparing to a permanent building, the amount of testing material could be accepted. Does it mean that the organic shape could only be applied to small-scale buildings in case of wasting too many building materials?
The organic parametric building is still being controversial these days. Due to its metropolitan looking, a lot of large-scale organic buildings have been built, for example, the Guggenheim Museum and the Birdnest Stadium. The way architects construct the parametric design to different scales are the same. Instead of building themselves directly, architects simulate the digital process depending on material property and algorithm. The process of designing Hi-Fi illustrates its efficiency of realizing the organic designs. Computing helps them explore the shapes and different ways of brick layout. Then architects pass out the geometry to manufacturing company. After they receive the analyzed report, they start to revise the overall shape. They run algorithm to lay out the brick in a most efficient way. Therefore, the whole design and construction process had been controlled to every step. Hi-Fi gets the benefit of democratizing design and the parametric algorithm. Before they started to construct the building, the computer system had run out all the possibility, and the architect picked the most efficient one among them. Instead of waste of material in real construction, the process of Hi-Fi construction decreased the waste. So our organic shape could be applied to big-scale buildings. Once they run through the digital process, the building itself gets controlled properly. I found that the bricks of Hi-Fi are quite different from the conventional ones. Is it also the architectural application of biotechnology?
Yes, the white bricks. Hi-Fi uses the genome of Hi-Fi to manufacture the building blocks. This kind of living organism in this project is like a living factory. The bricks are made from the agricultural byproducts and are eco-friendly. The process is totally sustainable and living, that the solid brick can be tuned into different properties, such as more water-resistant, stronger, or lighter.
That's great, and it looks really lightweight in this picture.
Yes, I can handle it with only one hand, and this allows the structure to invert the logic of load-bearing brick construction and creates a gravity-defying effect. Instead of being thick and dense at the bottom, it's thin and porous at the bottom, which makes the Hi-Fi seem unstable and lively. And the porosity enhances the communication of the inside and outside visitors. It is quite appealing for a party space. Imagine you are standing between solid walls, feeling isolated with cheering crowd. It may not be very pleasant.
Oh yes, I agree.
And these holes are based on the computing and simulation of the parametric model by simulating and analyzing the airflow and crowd behavior. Such study and simulation are also involved in the placement of the reflective bricks. The structure is digital controlled. Besides, as a crucial part of being sustainable and recycling, the blocks are degradable because they are made from natural elements. The whole structure will get back to the local circulation of nature.
The hyfi is a half-year-long temporary architecture, and the eco-bricks are gonna be recycled for the tree planting as fertile. Do you think these bricks are durable enough for a permanent big-scale building?
Due to the reason that MoMA PS1 has to renew the theme every year, the architectural symbols get changed from the annual competitions. The half-year-long lifespan doesn't mean that the architecture itself could only stand for a short time, but forced by the discipline of the museum. So, how long the biological bricks of hyfi could last is the question. Will the mushroom bricks decompose naturally as time passes by?
The process of eventing the material is seriously researched and tested. Though the raw materials are plants, the way making them into bricks makes a brick stable. The workers mix the cornstalks and mushroom root in different proportion and test the bricks for engineering cracks. The result of the test is sent to the structural laboratory, and people analyze the property of each possibility. In this way, the bricks that could go through the test will be selected for the final practice project. As the designer introduces, that the products they invent could stand the hurricane, the winds, the summer temperature in New York, water resistant, and the giant party with large amount of population. Architects are not professional in biology, engineering, and analysis, but they work as director for the whole process. The exploration in the choice of raw material and the possibility of different proportion democratize the design and optimize the final result. The process of analyze ensures the quality of the whole project, so there should be no doubt about its durability. As you said, the hyfi is a temporary party space, but for large-scale and permanent architecture, the bricks can be sufficiently strong to support the whole structure.
Yes, the hyfi may be just a test of the biotech's application in architecture. As he mentioned in biofever, the architectural applications move step by step. First, there are applications in the design and manufacture of new building materials within the lab and the factory, and then in the design and installation of new building systems on site. And finally, architects will design entirely new living buildings. The first two are already achieved, and the third one is on its way. Actually, the concept of biobricks or compostable building blocks are not really new. In the rural area of China, the bricks of old cottages are the condensed combination of local water plants and clay, and are also compostable and produced with no pollution. However, they are too heavy and not durable enough and demand hard physical labor. The technology of bricks of hyfi is a breakthrough because of its automation, flexibility, and lightweight. So the biotechnology does not create something that never exists, but push it forward to a new limit. And only with innovative materials can the architects design buildings more than cottages. And as hyfi is an open-ended experiment, we can still look forward to its future.
So, what do you think of the application of the biotech in materials and the forms? What is the relationship?
I may agree that the technology revolution of materials always comes before the form innovation. In other words, it is the new materials that allows the architects to try new forms, to liberate their creativity, and to deal with more complicated and interesting functions. And as new forms move on, the material may be a restriction gradually and wait for the next evolution, like a loop.
If the prosperity of the biotech and digital workflow is so promising, will the task of architects be taken over one day?
Not really. The technologies, no matter how automatic or intellectual they are, architects are still in charge of these tools. We choose which software or algorithm to use and select the results we need. Human will not lose the authority in this term. And what kind of possibility do you think hyfi has made for the future architecture?
From the point of material, the hyfi provides green material to buildings, which make less carbon dioxide emission that helps resolve the greenhouse effect. Also, due to the lightweight of the bricks, future buildings could be added up upon the original building rooftop with which loading base doesn't need to bear more weight. from the design process, the way that people cooperate people from different fields, democratize the design with more potential possibilities.